Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Wild Wisdom with Yasmin. And I am just getting started here. Welcome to Wild Wisdom with Yasmin, where we talk about things that people don't like to talk about, including today's topic, where we talk about millennial parenting. Yeah, it's a thing. It's time to talk about it. It is. It's time to talk about it. Yeah. Basically, we're going to discuss today um, how millennials are actually parenting, and is it cool? Is Do we need to improve? Have we gotten better than our parents? I don't know. We're gonna talk about all of it, y'all. And just before you guys and before the millennials beat me up, this is no offense to or saying that millennials are bad parents all around the board. No, 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 no. We have definitely changed. But I think there are a few things that are crippling our children and our future society. And it's concerning. I have people in my DMs. I've had literally 3-day conversations in my direct message about the kids in the schools. Yeah. Yeah, it's real. It's real. So I want to talk about and just chat. I'm just chatting. We're just chatting. And I can put a disclaimer saying that, hey, Yasmin doesn't have any children of her own. So why listen to me? Right? Well, I am an early childhood education degree holder. I have over 15 years of experience in teaching in school systems, institutions, your children, as well as been taking care of kids since I was 12 years old. Okay. Literally, I think the first time I was left to babysit a newborn, I was 12 years old. Baby was 5 months. And I have a younger sibling, and literally can give anyone tips and tricks on how to get a child to not just listen to you or just relate to you. I don't think there has been a child that has been in my presence that I could not teach, influence, or even manipulate in a way that I knew that was healthy for them, even though they may be thinking something completely different. Okay. So listen to me if you want to, listen to me if you don't want to, but this is a real thing. And this is a challenge for our communities. I can't even make this a black thing, a white thing, an Indian thing, or even an Asian thing. This is a thing, y'all. This is millennial parents teaching, parenting Gen Z kids. What's happening? Like, what's really happening? You know what I mean? And I think that's what we need. We're raising the question, like, it's terrifying in the school system. My husband is in the school system. He teaches and he coaches, and he's getting his turn inside of the system. And I remember coming home, and he would laugh, like be like, "Babe, it's okay," and I'm like, "No, it's not okay. Like, these babies are different." And I don't know if it's the COVID shot. I don't know if it's the vaccinations. I don't know. I don't know. But everybody is not autistic, you know? So I believe we're starting to treat the masses as if they are, and that's not the case. That's not the case, you know? It's not the case. I have nieces, nephews that are autistic, and I know what that looks like. I know what that means for the parents. I know what that means as they're developing. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about, hey, Quill, we're talking about literally parenting Gen Z kids, millennials. What are y'all doing? Because what I'm seeing is that there is an emotional, healthier generation. Maybe, maybe, maybe. And I say that first because I think that's where gentle parenting came from. Gentle parenting started because we were so traumatized by our parents, parenting us through brokenness, misery, not having that space to be themselves without saying I was forced into parenthood, or trying to do exactly what their parents did from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. and it working in the 80s, like, I don't think that always was the case in the 90s. But us in the 90s, we didn't have a choice. We just had to get up, do what was told, and sometimes even be forced to do things that really just shouldn't have never been forced upon us, but they did it anyway, right? But what kind of adult did that make us become is the thing. Because it happened. We became certain type of adults where these things really just didn't affect us. They affected how we dealt with each other, how we dealt with people, you know? Can somebody get in on YouTube and just make sure that I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me on YouTube. If there's anybody that's chiming in on YouTube, I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Dealing with a new mic here, and I don't want to go this whole live assuming that you guys can hear me. So maybe if somebody can click on YouTube and just make sure that they can hear me or tell me that they can hear me. If not, we're just gonna keep going, and hopefully this is not like a lost topic or a lost discussion. But no, this is a thing, guys. So I do think that emotions, we allow our children to have freer emotions. Mom, I'm mad. No, I don't want to do that. This is how I feel. I feel, I feel, I feel, I feel, I feel. But we're afraid for them to be uncomfortable. Like, discomfort is a thing where it's like, don't make my baby uncomfortable with your opinions. Don't make my baby uncomfortable setting expectations for them. Don't make my baby uncomfortable by teaching them something that I've never taught them, you know? So now, not only they may be emotionally aware of where they are, but they don't know what it feels like to be uncomfortable and work through discomfort. That's not good. That's not good. And it's not good just because I'm saying so. It's not good because this real world out here, when they're dealing with their teachers, professors, coaches, coworkers, employees, friends, when they're dealing with these institutions and authorities, is it is it allowing them to actually have matured healthy relationships? um their expectations from these people, there's going to be expectations from authority figures, there's going to be expectations from people who don't care about their feelings. They don't care about their feelings. They want the job to get done. They're in school, there's an assignment, get it done. I don't care about what happened yesterday. I don't care what's happening in your mind right now. I need you to work through the challenge of probably not even wanting to do what I'm asking you to do. Get it done, regulate, and move forward. Because that's the real world. That's the real world. That's what the real world looks like. The real world looks like, I don't care about how you feel, get the job done. If you're not raising your children to be prepared to work through their emotions, they're not going to be prepared for being entrepreneurs. So they're going to be workers. They're going to be employees. And if you're raising an employee, FBLA, that's what we used to have. It was FBLA was an organization that we had in high school that prepared people to be future business leaders of America. I was a part of DECA. DECA, I don't even know what DECA meant. But I know what we did learn there. We learned in DECA how to start a business. We learned in DECA what business plans were. We learned in DECA how to be entrepreneurs. But I still got to push through times and things and days where I may not want to. I still got to do this. I still got to talk to this client that gives me a bad attitude every time we encounter one another, or that challenges my sales, or that challenges my product and its quality. And I can't pitch a fit. I actually need to grab that information, eat the meat, and spit out the bones. That's what my mom used to tell me. Eat the meat and spit out the bones. Mama, but I don't like this teacher. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. Get the job done. Get out of the class. It's only gonna last for 3 months, or I was in a block schedule school. The entire school year, and then you're done. This is a fragment of your life, right? So, Were we so traumatized as children that we forgot that there were certain qualities of our parents that made us become the adults that we are today? Were we that traumatized that we forgot that there were actually certain things and skills that we were adapted with and that we actually ended up having because of some of the things that our parents did? Now, you saying everything they did was right. They did not have to beat our asses the way they did, okay? They did not have to say, because I said so every time, because that shut down our own autonomy of being able to say, I got my own thought, I got my own free will, I have my own understanding and point of view of what this world looks like to me. So please, mom and dad, don't shoot down a child that's curious, but nevertheless, let's not parent from our trauma. Let's parent from understanding that we're raising young adults that need to be employees and as well as, hey cousin, I got cousins from everywhere, y'all. Um, so that need to actually be successful citizens in society, right? Excuse me. So I say that to say, um, you know, literally, we're turning into kind of like that social media parenting where it's like, you remember how we used to say, oh, my mama didn't do this and that until she was in the midst of her friends, or she didn't show me affection until the church people came around, or she didn't want to embarrass me until people came around, you know. Um, are we doing the same thing with social media? I feel like we only parent when social media is present. We want to show people what our kids got on. We want to show people what accomplishments our children have made in school. But truly, we had nothing to do with those accomplishments. We didn't. You didn't challenge your child to make that A. They just made that A. You didn't have those expectations set. Your child was just born smart. Was it you sitting down doing the homework with them or trying to experiment with them or taking them to the museum and getting them culturally equipped to even take someone on a date in their younger 20s? Or will their first time experience going to the museum or to the play or to the ballet be with their significant other as well? Because all you wanted to do was allow your child to play video games or play in makeup or do hair. Nothing wrong with these things because you can make money from everything I said that just a second ago. But let's just say they don't have the resilience and the due diligence it takes to become a YouTuber, to become a social media person that makes money from it, or to become a hairdresser. You got to get up every morning and do this hair. You got to research. You need to go to hair school. There are prerequisites in order to be these professional people in society. One of my hairdressers in the past was I hate to say former Olympian because I feel like once an Olympian, always an Olympian. And she was my hairdresser for a year before I even knew Gwen Torrance was doing my hair. Um, I'll never forget this day actually. Uh, I was getting my hair done. She actually cut my hair for a prom, and it was a very cute cut. And she was telling the ladies in the shop, y'all, I used to be skinny. Y'all, I used to be skinny, girl. You know, we talk junk in the shop. And the ladies was like, yeah, right, Gwen. Yeah, right, girl. You thick, you thick. And she's not that thick, y'all. She's not. But she's like, basically, y'all, I used to be bony. I used to be skinny. I was a track star. And thank you so much. Motivation Station 1940. And she goes, Jasmine, go to my truck, go to my Escalade out here and go get my picture on her front seat. So I go get the picture and y'all, it is the iconic photo of like, I believe it was like Gail Divas, her, and a few other people. I don't want to say, I think Flojo was gone already. But this was that 1990s era where all the track stars were, putting their arms up and, pretty much kind of having their outward expression of Black love, Black history. We're here, we're showing up, and we're present. And Gwen always used to like to brag, like, honey, I wasn't on no roids, I wasn't on steroids, I wasn't on no juice. I was just naturally fast. Gwen had a real big attitude, but it was granted. It was like Sha'Carri, like she is that girl, And I remember walking slow motion back to my chair a year later, y'all. I'm over here, like, I'm literally, this lady's my hairdresser for a year. And here I go trying to be like starstruck, like, girl, literally been doing my hair all this time. And this lady is who she is. And I brought her up because there took a certain level of discipline for her to become Gwen Torrance. And that same discipline she uses even to this day. She's still a hairdresser. And these are different facets in life where at one moment she was a high school student. At some moment, she probably went to college. And at another moment, she was an Olympian track star runner, a worldwide, everybody all in her world. And then another moment, she's a wife to a husband, a mother to some children, and a hairdresser that had a very high clientele. This was during the time where baby Memorial Drive did not sleep. You were on a Saturday from sun up to sundown, getting them nails done, getting their hair done. The boys were getting their haircuts, the whole thing, the whole Black Saturday thing where we all do our beauty stuff. And I said that because the same parents, the same life, the same struggle that taught her how to be a track star, an Olympian, also taught her how to get up and do hair every morning. Now, hair is a little bit different, where now you can actually set appointments and get deposits and stuff. Well, back then, there wasn't no deposit. It was show up, get your hair done, and you be here all day until it's your turn, right? That takes discipline. That takes resilience. That takes getting up and having that, being uncomfortable. Not always liking your clients, but making sure that they're looking beautiful when they get up. Not being in your feelings. I remember watching her do business ventures and things with other guys and other people in the city. And I don't want to bring those names up, but I remember them going, like, coming to her and just making sure that business could be done. And if she wanted to be a part of it, she was like, heck yeah, I'm interested. Let's do this. I said that because it all counts. High school, middle school, it counts. How you make your children respect their time, their thoughts, their mind, it counts. It counts now. If you don't allow them to make themselves believe in themselves now, they won't believe in themselves later. They're going to always seek validation. Do you know what it looked like for a grown person to seek validation? That is the most irritating, annoying thing ever. You that grown and you not sure of yourself? Do y'all know how many people walk around not sure of themselves? Y'all, that's scary. Because now we can't even trust that type of adult to work for my corporation. They're not even sure about what they can do, how they can perform. They're too insecure to go through the interview. There hasn't been a job that I've interviewed for that I didn't know that I was going to get the position or that I knew I was qualified, if not overqualified for. You have to live like that. But that also comes from me being a gymnast. When I was a little girl, I was a gymnast. I was very disciplined. I probably was the only athlete in my household. And I was the only girl. My brothers were very musically inclined. We're from Louisiana, baby. Everybody played an instrument and everybody knew how to read a note. At least in my family. My grandmother did not play that. So, yeah, I said what I said, So I move on, and I have notes that I take before I stretch so I don't get off subject because I can just yap. So yeah, we got Millennials being traumatized by their parents, so they thinking gentle parenting means no parenting. That means don't worry about parenting. Let's just be homies. Let's just do TikToks with each other. Let's just do, let's go clothes shopping. Let me make sure you look good. Y'all, looking good is a fragment of it. I know there was a lot of people in the school that I went to that, I mean, I guess they look good. I guess they had on stylish stuff, but it was the ones that had on them dirty shoes that got that money right now. It was the ones that literally moms did not care about name brands right now that are the attorneys right now, doctors, surgeons. Yeah, when I went to Grady, the person who was stitching up my arm, she was in middle school with me. Literally. The attorneys that pop up on my page, those are my classmates. I remember one of them used to be musty as I don't know what. I'm not saying don't pay attention to your hygiene, but I'm just saying his focus wasn't Gucci and Bottega and Balenciaga. Matter of fact, I think I just found out what a Bottega is. Who Balenciaga is. Can they even spell Balenciaga? Like, this is where we're getting at. These children cannot spell, but they got on Balenciaga. I think it's like 13 letters in their word. They can't spell, y'all. They in high school and they can't spell. They in middle school and they can't literally read and comprehend. That's scary. And it's not to talk about them or to embarrass somebody. This is an awareness that we need to have as a people. When a word is written down, you need to be able to understand what that word means to you and to the next. What if you were in danger and all you had to do was write a letter to get yourself out of danger? You can't even write the goddamn letter. You know? Not to mention how to do the salutation of the letter, closing the letter out. There are proper ways to do things. There are proper ways to do things. In certain levels in society, doing things the proper way is what gets you into this social class. If you don't know how to do things properly, you're not invited. You're not invited. We don't even want you around. If you're a man and you don't know how to pull out a chair for a woman, open a door for a woman, or for anybody that's behind you for that matter. These are social standards, you know? There were yes, ma'am, and yes, sir that were demanded of us. Like, we had to say those things because in social situations, you had expectations. If you were a young jit, you needed to be showing respect to those who were older than you, not for ego boost, but that we knew that this particular child understood how to treat the people around them. Yeah, we're still on the same planet, right? Your child won't be able to make a successful flight into another country. You know? If you don't teach them proper etiquette, proper disciplines, right? I mean, you've taught them how to dress nice and look socially acceptable for people who, not people that got money, because people that got money don't care if they kids wearing Bottega, Balenciaga, or Ralph Lauren. It's the quality of the clothes, right? Is it 100% cotton or is it polyester? Me personally, I don't like polyester. I prefer 100% cotton. At least bamboo. We move on, you know? So, yeah, traumatized parenting is crippling our kids and our future society. When I'm 60, it's going to be very hard for us to find people who, or businesses who accommodate people in the best way possible. The shortcut can't do it. When you're baking a cake, there's no shortcut. When you're making gumbo, y'all know what that is? That is a very special Louisiana dish. There's no shortcut to making gumbo. It's going to take you an hour or 3. It has to. It's proper. If not, it's not gumbo, it's soup. Okay? It's facts. So respect it. You got to respect that there are things set in place for a reason. And respect is the next thing. They got to respect themselves. Let me tell you something. I remember, because I had 2 brothers older than me, and I remember literally going, my brother is learning multiplication and division. I'm still in addition and subtraction. I'm going to challenge myself to go, you know what? I'm going to see if I know how to multiply this. I'm going to figure out if I can find out if I know more than my brother. I used to love to know more than him. We were just like a year and a few months apart. So that wasn't hard to do. But I always thought if he can do it, I can do it. My brother right now is a vice president of a HBCU college. Okay? Very intellectual. Whole PhD, whole Dr. Benjamin, right? My brother allows me to know that I too can also be. You see where I got with that? I'm not jealous. I could never be jealous of my brother. When he did it, I did it. When he graduated with his bachelor's degree, I graduated with my bachelor's degree. My grandparents made sure we were a team and that when he learned, I learned. When my baby brother did something, I knew I could do it, and vice versa. So what is it that we no longer want to be intellects? Are we not teaching our children about Langston Hughes, Nikki Giovanni? I can say Sonny Patterson right now, and probably only people in Louisiana know about this renowned poet. Arts is just not hip hop. Arts is just not clothes. Arts is sometimes the way you write it, the way you say it, how you say it, how you connect the dots. You know, what you're saying. Why is it that when I put a super, super hot dish in some cold water, the glass shatters? That's science. Can we please teach our children basic science? I remember in elementary school, we had got our first microwave in our house. And my brother and I put an aluminum package of Pop-Tarts. Hey, baby. Hey, Maddie. Inside of the microwave. Y'all, my mama wasn't there. My mom used to work and go to school, and we were latchkey kids. But my grandparents were the hands-on. And any other family members, for that matter, in Natchitoches, Louisiana, that helped raise us. My mama came home, and you could smell the burnt from the garage. Y'all, we blew the microwave up. And at that time, microwaves were very new. And my grandparents barely used them, which probably the reason why they lived to their 90s. However, I learned then you don't put aluminum inside of the microwave. Somebody failed to explain that to us. So we just put it in there innocently and ignorantly and blew the dang on microwave up, y'all. First microwave. I think it was a gift. I think somebody gave us a doggone microwave. That's my point. You have to educate your children or they're going to keep blowing microwaves up. Tell them why the microwave blew up. Aluminum cannot be in there. It's radiation. Da 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 da. Maybe if you let them know radiation came from the microwave, your child might find the cure to cancer because radiation causes cancer. Or they may encourage the rest of the family, can y'all stop eating out the microwave, please? The rest of our family didn't die from cancer. Can we be the first to not die from cancer? It's true, man. It's true. We got to do better. We got to do better. Because then we go to my fourth point. It's consequences. There are consequences to everything you do and you don't do. Parents, you don't make your children be prideful of being intellectual. I was waiting on you, Don. I was waiting on you. Parents don't explain and have open dialogue to help their children. Don, if I could connect you on this right now, this is it. Y'all, she works in the school system. This is real. Not only did I not have it at one point in time in my life, our children are getting the same thing. Y'all ain't doing nothing no different. If there's no open dialogue to say, don't put the aluminum foil Pop-Tart in the microwave, it's going to blow up. Y'all got to teach them something, or do y'all not know nothing? That's the real thing. Because I could have started off, parents, y'all don't know nothing. Because that's why y'all not teaching them nothing. Y'all don't know nothing. The biggest challenge of this conversation is, parents, go learn something. Go teach yourself something. Most of the things that I have learned in my life, I'm 40. And I've been self-teaching myself for about 20 years with certain topics. Learn how to self-teach. That was my point. My brother was learning long division and multiplication. I got in the back of that composition book. I started teaching myself my multiplication tables. When I got to the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I was making all A's because I'd already taught myself half the stuff that was being taught to me. It's true. I was combing my hair at 8 years old. I had no sisters. My mama can't comb hair good. She's to this day go get her hair done to hairdresser. But I got in that mirror and I taught myself how to comb my hair because my mom wasn't understanding what style I wanted because we lived from 2 different time periods. So I say, how about this? I like Debrat. I want my hair in all these different plaits. I'm going to put my barrettes and stuff like my mama want on my hair. When I get to the school, I'm going to take them out. But I'm going to have my hair enough to respect my mama's wishes, expectations, and be accepted in society by my friends and their expectations. Because who don't love Debrat? It's 1998. It's 1997. What do you mean? I don't want to look like Debrat. If not his left eye, but Brat hair was longer. So let's go. You know, it's true. It's true. And this is a person in the school system saying, stop making excuses on what you don't know, because we can literally know what we want to know. The internet is here. Before, when we were children, we used to just play in encyclopedia books. Me and my husband talk about this all the time. His parents, his mom, my husband's mom, did not let him get a dog. Not because she doesn't like animals per se, because trust me, she has 15,000 pet deer in her backyard. Y'all, she feed the deer. She be dead for real. And she do not kill them. She just feeds them. The entire backyard is full of deer, rabbits, and you know it because they know when they see that 5-acre place with all them darn buckets that they got food in there waiting on them. She don't like dogs though, okay? She come from an era where they used to sick dogs on people. So I do understand, okay? So she said, no, Adam, you're not going to get a dog, but I will buy you an encyclopedia that contained all the dogs in the world. If anyone knows my husband, y'all, this man can literally tell anybody what kind of dog they have or what it's mixed with by looking at it, because his mom did not want to provide him with a dog, but she said, I'm going to provide you with the tools. I'm going to provide you with the tools. So when you get grown and on your own, you get all the doggone dogs you want. And that's exactly what he did. Okay? And y'all, my husband is probably the most educated about dogs that I have ever laid my eyes on. And I know a lot of educated people, and I know a lot of people that know about dogs and different things. But when it talks about an overall umbrella of what dog is for what and where it come from and the what? No, really. Okay? It's impressive. But he's also a history buff. The man know about every dynasty and every got doggone woo woo woo. Everything in history. But he's not your math whiz. He's not your math whiz. When we're making thousands of dollars, I'm the one going, da, 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 da. Babe, no. We need to do this 5 more times. Babe, no. We already made that. Da, 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 da. He's like, huh? Look, do. How'd you calculate that fast? That's my brain. I'm the math whiz. I'm the science girl. He's a history buff. He actually loves to read more than I do, but I like to read for entertainment. What if you were preparing your child to find their soulmate so that you can have grandkids and that your lineage can keep going? Y'all, what kind of husband, what kind of mamas are y'all raising? Because they got to do the same thing. Did y'all think about that? Did y'all only want them to look good? You just want your children to have grandkids that look good? Because they to afford Bottega and Balenciaga if they cannot, for one, respect their mind. For two, understand that there's a future that they have to attack, that they have to be present. There's no evading being present in the future. It's how are you going to be present? Are you sharing with your children what it takes for you to purchase Bottega, Balenciaga, or Gucci, or God help me out? The ones, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I truly do not know the name brands like that. And my mom didn't raise me that way. Okay, we didn't get J's. We didn't get Jordans. I bought my own Jordans. Okay, in high school, I bought my own Jordans. Yes, I did. And I did that because I already knew what my expectations was from my mom. She wasn't going to spend $150 on Air Maxes and Jordans. She just wasn't. She had to pay the bills and whatever else. Hell, most of the time she probably just want to pay for stuff that she want to pay for. Respect. And that's what I did. I made my money in the summertime, and these children don't even want to work. They don't even want to work. It's entitlement. You're making your children literally feel entitled to something that they did not work for. You're creating a person to rob me later in the future. When I'm walking down the sidewalk, your children will be the ones to rob me because I worked hard for my money. In the future, you are equipping and you're making your children be the reason why we move outside of our neighborhoods because we don't trust our own. The one thing that could break my heart the most would be literally me watching someone look at my nephew with his handsome self. And so, y'all talk about a smart person. My nephew's so smart. And be scared for their life. I would be highly offended if I saw my nephew Darnell or Terrion or even my babies, Jared and Aiden, walking down the street and I got somebody clutching their purse. Because the first thing I go is my baby don't need to steal from you. My baby got enough sense to go work and probably work better and get more money than what you can bring them. I would be offended. Instead, we're offended when our children are challenged. Aren't we? Aren't we? We're offended when someone challenges your child to open their mouth up and enunciate their words. We're offended when someone says, put the phone down and literally tell me what you're thinking. Because they don't know what they're thinking. They don't. They don't even understand when you tell them you have expectations for them. They thinking you're being disrespectful. And they go back and they tell their mama and their daddy, and y'all going back up to millennials, y'all going back up to the school acting a fool Like you done raised them and you ain't raised them. Grand Theft Auto raised them. I want somebody to ask my nephews what I used to do with Grand Theft Auto when I used to see them have it at 9 and 10 years old in 2010 and 2009. I used to work at a T-Mobile right there on Candler Road. My nephew stayed right there in Orchard Walk. I would walk to their house. Now, they go my nerve. Because their mama could cook up a storm. I would walk to their house, go in there and eat their food. And I would look to the side and go, I know they no Grand Theft Auto in this house. And y'all 9 and y'all paying for prostitutes. Who is programming y'all to rob a car and pay for prostitutes? Sell drugs for points, buy guns. I would immediately throw it away. I think I threw away at least 3 or 4 Grand Theft Auto games. I didn't care how many times Lola bought it. And I'm showing you what I expect from you. And it ain't for you to pay for no prostitute or sell no drugs. I don't care what this neighborhood thinks that's funny and cool. Auntie Jazzy don't care. Now, I'm the same auntie that get out there and flip with you, though. I'm the same auntie that'll get out there and dance with you and have a good time. But what I won't do is condone you being less than what you are able to be. So no, get your head out the game. If you can't make money right now from streaming and be in that game, get off of it right now. Get off of it. No. Now, my nephew's grown now. They got their own children. They better not have no GTA in that house. I can't stand when a kid gets shot while committing a crime and they have the nerve to say he is a good kid. No, the hell he ain't. Deshaun went to middle school with me, though. Me, Adam, Deshaun, what's Shamrock? All of us. That's not it. That is not it. That's not it. No, the kid that got shot robbing somebody was not a good kid. He wasn't. And you weren't a good parent because he settled to actually literally rob a kid. Yes, Jared Shamrock, exactly. He's not a good kid. He's a horrible child. And he's going to be a horrible adult. I know people right now still locked up in prison from a decision that they made at 18, 16, 17. They don't care. Y'all, the reality is school is a pipeline to prison. So when you don't equip your children to think on their own, they already have a place for them to go. So let them keep playing Grand Theft Auto. They got somewhere for them to go. They do. They really do. And it's scary. And it's a real place. Lack of a father or lack of a mother should not matter. It shouldn't. Y'all, this is real. The next thing y'all been doing is defending everything them children do. Thank you, Deshaun. That was exactly y'all defend everything they do. They stealing, they killing, they robbing. Long as they bringing something to the house for you, you're gonna defend it. That's my baby. No, he's a ragamuffin. He's not a baby. He's a ragamuffin. That's what he is. He's a straight hooligan. He is a hooligan. Yep. Hooligan and ragamuffins is not a synonym for baby and child and kid. It's not. Or young adult. We got to do better, millennials. I'm not lying. We got to do better. Being uncomfort and discomfort for your children does not mean that you're traumatizing them. Okay? I want y'all to understand that. Just because you were traumatized, your mama beat your behind unnecessarily because she was mad at something else and she didn't know how to communicate and she was emotionally immature, does not mean that's what you're doing to your child just because you are making them uncomfortable. You're killing your child early. That's what you're doing. You're committing murder. Yeah, the real world doesn't care about how you parent. The real world has expectations. Some of y'all want y'all children to be awesome NFL players, awesome whatever the heck. Okay, Deshaun, he's sitting right here. He's another one. Deshaun, I'm gonna mess up your whole thing, but I think you do NASCAR, right? And I'm gonna do it how my grandmother used to do us. My uncle worked for NASA. She said he was an astronaut. So if Deshaun has not done NASCAR, I'm saying he do NASCAR because that's all I see this man do is race cars in the most professional way that they race cars out here in these streets. Okay. Deshaun was also a very good kicker in football. And I'm sure he's a great father because his children are exactly what I'm telling you your kids are not. Deshaun, they need more professional and mental care. Why? Not that you're wrong, but why? Because the same discipline it took for you to race them cars and understand the logistics behind racing those cars without harming yourself or something malfunctioning is because you educated yourself and endowed yourself in that subject. Motorcycle racing is what Deshaun does. Thank you, baby. Motorcycle racing. I would kill myself motorcycle racing. First match, first race, I'm done. Casket, get the obituary, life insurance, go ahead and turn it up, run it up. I don't know anything about that. More professional and mental care. Yeah. Uh, because I know I needed mental care and professional help back in the day. And all I was conditioned to do was call on Jesus and the Lord about my problems because didn't nobody care about my problems, Deshaun. And they still don't. And I too had parents that were young and was not mature mentally. They weren't mature mentally as well. So I hear what you're saying, right? But I'm going back to what Don is saying here on YouTube. We can't give them an excuse because as soon as we say, oh, the kids need more mental and professional help, we're disabling their ability to work through discomfort. Hello, right? I make it real. You got a crackhead parent, or you have a parent in a deep psychosis. Y'all know which psychosis I'm talking about. Do people not expect me to get out of my normal classes and go into advanced classes, yet even challenge myself to AP or sign up for college? No, that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. Do that again, Deshaun. I'm trying to make it come on here. Oh, there you go. But you heard what I said? Okay, here's what I'm saying. So for the kids and our generation born in the 80s, right? I'm saying we had crackhead parents. That is more than anything. Now, I know some crackhead mamas from where I'm from. And when I think about my friends in Louisiana that had a mother that was on drugs, welfare, projects, I look at all four of them, and all four of them are doing great, right? I then look at my own, four of us as well. I had one parent, one thing, another parent, another thing. And I had a comment in this YouTube said, Jazz, they make excuses. And all I did was say was, Deshaun, you're right, but that's an excuse because even we had to get through it and achieve in the midst of our discomfort. Go. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. I'm sorry, I'm translating what you're saying on YouTube here. So he says, because of the trash TV that we have today, and oh my God, do we have a lot of it? The reality shows are crazy. We didn't. Bill Cosby. This is so true. And I'm not talking over you, Deshaun. Keep talking. I'm just trying to keep the silence from remaining on this platform here. What he's saying is the trash TV is so prevalent and a different world. Yes, Don, a different world. Cosby's, Family Matters, like he was saying, even the shoot, Step by Step, Who's the Boss? Y'all, I watched all of it. You name it, all they showed us was kids that had issues, but we still worked through it. Eddie Winslow had his issues and he was stupid, but he still was expected to make good grades, right? Waldo was a dummy, but he still had expectations, right? And even if you didn't have a father, you still saw a father figure that gave you an example of what a real father would expect their children to be like later on. He's right. He's right. Yeah. And he says basically, we had Foxy Brown. She wasn't a hoe. She was just very erotic, right? In music industry, we're talking. You had your fine girls. I'm trying to think of the ones that drove my brother crazy. Stacey Dash and all of them. And she was still fully clothed, even in Clueless. She was a ditzy girl, but she was like, "No, you're not taking my virginity." As if, like, hot girl wasn't smart on books, but she still had pride in what you wasn't going to take from her. Her essence. You're not taking that for free. Are you kidding me? Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just like Bill Cosby did, exactly. Yeah. Right. No, oh, The Rock. I forgot about The Rock. That he was a trash man and he still did not play by his wife, his son, his kids. Like he did not play, but he was a trash man. And she loved that trash man. She wasn't looking for no rich. She wasn't looking for nobody that has 6 figures, 8 figures. She was happy with her trash man. And I'm not saying lower your standards. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a reality. Be a good man is all, Deshaun. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But I appreciate you because I don't want to go over an hour because I will talk my head off. But I appreciate you. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to end up saving this live so that people on Instagram can see it. But it's true. It's true. And me and my husband talk about this all the time. But we all come from the same background, you know, education wise, expectation wise. But you're right. There's not a lot of negative influence. So that goes into saying, parents, cut out the negative influence. Y'all children should not be listening and dancing to Cardi B. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Cardi B should not be it. And them gorillas and the sexy ones and I don't know all their names. I'm not gonna lie, it's between the Ice Spice and the Big Mamas and the Woo Woo. Though that all that shit. First of all, to me, that ain't real music. Shoot me. I don't care. Shoot me. It's not. That's not real music. It does nothing for my intellect. It does nothing to make me feel proud of who I am. It doesn't. Maybe proud of how big my booty is. Maybe proud of how attractive but what the hell? That's surface. But then you're gonna get mad when all the boy want from your daughter is what's between her legs. because she ain't got nothing between her ears, and vice versa. It's the modern daycare without the reading, my nigga. Without reading. That's it. That's all it is. And there's I was getting to a point, and I don't think I'm gonna make it, but because our kids aren't taught empathy, when there is something happening inside the classroom, I remember teachers getting frustrated because I was a class clown. Let's just keep it real. If you knew me in high school, I knew how to disrupt a class, but I also was probably the smartest one in the class. Facts. So what happens is I realize I'm putting the teacher in a position where she's having to beg me and she's about to discipline me and she doesn't want to. So guess what I learned how to do? Shut my mouth, wait for the opportunity to crack my joke. There was an art in joke telling in class. I waited until it was funny to all of us, not just the teacher, but to the students and everybody. Now, I was very rarely making fun of a particular person in class. However, there were people who did. And we would have so much empathy at Shamrock or Druid Hills. And I hear stories of Adam saying, even in Cedar Grove, he wasn't an advocate of making fun of people unless you were making fun of somebody else, and then he started roasting you, you know? Yeah. Yeah, everybody got a bigger brother, so you can roast if you want to, but you can get that butt tapped later on, or bigger sister. And this is true. But now I was saying, I think I was cooking with that. I forgot, but it was empathy. There's no empathy. So because we're not teaching our children empathy, even when the teachers are teaching, you don't even have a emotionally mature student to go, "Hey, y'all, chill out, chill out, chill out. Let her finish, or let him finish real quick, and then we can get back to what we're talking about." Or how about this? How about we play 7 Up, stand up, 7 Up, woo, woo, and then we can learn our math this way. Like, we came up with different ways to learn so that the teacher didn't get so overstressed. And we stressing the teachers out. They don't even want to deal. They don't even care if you pass or fail. They just want you out of their class. They weren't. That's all I was saying. We were latchkey kids. Our parents went home when we got home. Take the titty out their mouth. Oh my God. That is the phrase. No, seriously. But the titty in their mouth becomes a coddling. And it ain't nothing worse than a coddled man or a coddled woman in their adulthood. It's nothing worse. Because we're preparing them to be young men and women, you know? And they're not prepped for it at all. Yes, and this is that thing. Because we're not giving the kids consequences, they think, oh, it's just an F. Oh, that teacher gave me an F. No, the teacher didn't give you nothing. My mom used to say all the time, baby, that teacher ain't gave you nothing. You earned it. That's what you earned. And you earned the consequences of an F. You're going to repeat this grade or you're going to be called a dummy for the rest of your life. Indirectly or directly. Deshaun, I appreciate you, baby. I'm finna log off right here, but I appreciate you for chiming in. And this is facts. That's all we saying. We just talking about what they don't want to talk about. We ain't called no name. Have a good one, bro. All right. But nah, man, this is so real. This is so real. This is so real. They don't have an imagination anymore either, Don. They don't. They don't have an imagination. And the imagination is definitely not positive. It's so real. And it's scary because I remember being, and it has something to do with the access of computers, laptops, phones. Like he says, we got so much to influence our children. You know, it doesn't even matter if they have what do you call the phones with the Cardi B's on it, the negative influence, the bad girls club, the baddie. They 7, 8, 9 years old, want to be a baddie, 2 years old, want to be a baddie. That's all they can imagine themselves being, is just a little pretty baddie. Y'all, I'm 40 and I just found out somebody called me a baddie in high school. I said I could be a baddie and I'm 40. I could be a baddie at 40. I didn't know. Didn't even know what the definition was, girl. Didn't even know. Go figure. But let me tell you how it irked me though, because I'm more than just beautiful, right? I love intellectual conversations. And I think I'm gonna end with this. And I was watching a podcast with Keke Palmer on there, and I think she was talking to Raven Simone. And both of these two young ladies are very intellectual, and very entertaining, very full personalities, very full lives. And Keke says something where she goes, "I don't think I'm as sexual as everyone else." And by the time they got to breaking down, Keke, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? She just was basically saying, these guys aren't attracting me because they don't have nothing in their brain. They don't have anything in their brain. So we don't have anything else to talk about. And please don't talk about how you're a fan of me if you're Keke Palmer, right? But it's the same way I feel. Please don't talk about how you may be a fan of Yasmin and you don't have nothing in your brain. That should be highly offensive. Train your daughters the same way and the men the same way. If they go to Martha's Vineyard right now, the children and the young adults that they're going to encounter, it's going to make them silent because they're not going to know what to say. They're not going to know how to engage into a political conversation, even if they don't agree. I don't agree with half the things that go on politically in this world. I don't. I don't talk about politics with people. Maybe my husband, that's it. But I know how to have an intellectual political conversation with any race and creed on this planet. Not because of high school, because I'm informed and I'm aware. Let's teach awareness. Let's teach our children where they can get into other areas and they can make you proud. I'm going to leave y'all with these few questions. And you can comment in the comments as you watch this video if you made it this far. But I was kind of going over a few things and I said, well, what would I want millennials to rethink? You know? And what is something that your parents made you do that you hated, but now you're grateful that they did it? All right? I got a few. I got a few things. The next thing is, no to a child is automatically bad parenting. Are we saying that if we tell a child no, that it's automatic? Bye, Don. I love you. Thank you so much for chiming in. You too, Jared. Thank y'all so much. Saying no to your child, is that bad parenting? I know a few things my mom said no. My grandma, let me tell you something, my grandma would say no to sodas, baby. But I got beautiful skin right now and I'm 40 years old. No sodas. When I started drinking sodas, I had horrible skin. Next question. Should children be allowed to ask questions? I'll answer that one. I say yes. Ask all the questions you want, baby. Ask all the questions you want, even the ones I don't know the answer to, because we're going to learn together. I think that's a great one. I think millennials need to learn with their children because their children don't know how to read. It's definitely because they don't know how to read. When does validation become enabling? Validation, is it needed? Do y'all really validate them for everything? Let me tell you something. There's some things that I've done in my life my parents ain't never clapped for. Ain't never clapped for. And that's okay. Everybody ain't gonna clap. My grandparents didn't even know to clap. Enabling? No, don't enable them. Are participation trophies actually harmful? I always thought, yeah. I hated a participation trophy or a participation certificate. I want a first, second, or third place. That's it. Don't give me thank you for participating. I don't want it. Do away with the participation trophies. Let them know how life really is. You got to earn it. Earn that position. I don't care if you came fourth place. You almost got third. I bet you next time you'll get third. You got it. You got it. Keep trying. Keep at it. You're going to get it. Can you gentle parent and still have strict standards? Yeah. You don't have to beat your children's ass, but you can still be strict. Yeah, it's real. I expect you to get done with your homework, know this, that, and the third before you even get on the games or the stream or whatever. Yeah. You can play video games, but don't you play that Grand Theft Auto or whatever else they got out there right now. And last question, what is one thing that millennials are doing better than their parents? And I do think we letting these kids wear Bottega because our parents didn't do it. And I think it ain't nothing wrong with letting your kids be fresh and look cute. So they're not dumb. They're not the lame one, you know, because who wants a lame kid? But I ain't gonna lie, them lame ones be making that money later on. So I don't know. Y'all be the judge. I do think that we are emotionally present with our children just a little bit more. We're aware if they're mad, but we allow their emotions to manipulate us, which is probably why our parents said, I don't want to hear that. Okay. So I want y'all to rethink those questions. This wasn't me to beat up on millennial parents. No, I'm sure if I had my own, I would have my challenges as well. But there comes a time, and I know two individuals that are doing it right now. I went to Druid Hills with them, and they have two boys, and they literally do not have social media on their phone because they don't even want their children to think that that's something that they need. And those kids are some of the non-validating needed children I've ever seen in my life. Smart, great grades, love sports. It's doable. Don't be lazy. Stop being lazy. All right. I appreciate y'all for chiming in. Let me know down in the comments if you made it to the end. Great. If you did, give me some comments. Say parenting at the end for this one, right? And I'm gonna put up some more videos twice a week, every week at noon, twice a week. I think we're gonna do Monday and Thursdays. But yeah, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. I literally am just getting started with consistency with this. So I appreciate every view, every share, every like, every comment. I'm trying not to mention names these days when it comes down to certain people and certain topics. So, y'all help me come in on here so I don't accidentally say nobody's name in here. Bye, y'all. Love y'all. Thanks, Jared. Jared's also a Shamrock Druid Hills person too, y'all. Love you, Jared. Bye-bye.